with 36 grades. The weather is crazy here in Paraguay. I'm married. My husband is from Brazil, but he lives here. We don't have children. We have 2 pets, 2 dogs too, like Mateos. They are Polo and Flash. They are 2 beagles, our children. And I'm psychologist. I collection orchids. In my free time, I take care of my flowers. I love it. It's a therapy for me. I love soccer. I am fanatic from Olimpia. It's my team here in Paraguay, but I love soccer. I watch all the games during the World Cup, for example. I love Formula One too. I'm fan. I watch the qualifying and the races. My favorite driver is Lewis Hamilton. I am absolutely fan of him. And that's it.
Amazing. Sonia is a sportswoman. You're up to the
I'm not
races and
a
soccer.
typical woman.
Nice. Very interesting. Thank you, Sonia. How about you, Gabs?
Hi guys, good evening. I'm Gabriel Correia. I'm 28 years old and I'm living in Minas. And my formation is economic science at the Federal University of Viçosa. And in my free time, I like to go to the gym, but I like to see things about politics too. Today is a good day for politics, Brazilian politics, because it's one guy said things about democracy, and I like this, and oh my God, it's so terrible for, I think, and that's it.
Yeah, I guess I've seen the news about the hacker.
I think that people can be that one thing, but that people was more terrible. I don't know.
Yeah. So just to remember a few things, this is not a classroom. This is not a class, so we're not going to correct ourselves. But if you have any doubt, if you forget any word, you can ask. We're going to help each other. But this is a conversation for us to help us feel more confident to talk. So don't worry if you make mistakes. Don't worry if you forget. Our pronunciation, it doesn't matter if it's correct or not. The main point is to feel comfortable to talk and to understand each other, okay? So feel free to talk, to make mistakes. This is a safe place. I'm gonna send you the question, guys. Today we're talking about generation gap in the workplace. This topic was suggested by a participant last week, I guess, or 2 weeks ago, and I brought this topic because it's very interesting. So question number 1, let's begin. Sonia, how old were you when you started working in your field? And what do you work with?
What is field?
In your area.
Is in my area.
Yeah, like psychology, right?
Yes, I started to work when I was a student. When I was in college, I had a volunteer with a psychologist. At the first time as secretary, before after now therapist, my co-therapist. I help the therapist. I hear with the therapist to learn, and then when I finish my college, I start to work as a psychologist, as a professional. But it was for me to do the work for free because I learned a lot. And when I finished my career, I felt prepared to start working.
Awesome. Very nice. What about you, Mateus? How old were you and how was the experience?
So I work today with marketing, digital marketing, and I actually started working in this area in 2020 in the pandemic. So, but I have been studying this area since 2015, and I was 22 years old, maybe. That is it.
Awesome. And how was it?
Sorry?
How was the process, the experience when you started working in your field with marketing?
Okay. I was started to attend clients with local business, and I was help them with anúncios patrocinados. I forgot, but and I was supporting my clients with social medias and websites. So that's it. I didn't know how to explain all the things. But that is it.
Amazing, nice, I understood. What about you, Gabs?
I'm thinking about this question. I never work in my specific area. When I told you in my presentation, I graduated in economic science, but I don't remember that people who this specifically are, oh, that guy, it's an economist. I don't remember. I don't know. I think I know my professors, but after the graduated, I'm going to commercial area. I don't know what it is. I was a manager in a sale. No, it's not loja. It's a commercial. Yeah, it's a hard work, and that was my first job for the college, and oh my God, it's so difficult. And after this, I working in a trainee audit. It's a contable area. I don't know contable. It's a different experience too, but it's not my area. But now I am employed, and I try to move my career to politic things and finance, but not specific economists. Economists are the people go to the academic. I think it is that's it.
Are you searching for any specific position?
No, it's
No?
beginnings, beginning positions. For example, I like to go to politics, communication, and governmental, and I forgot the word that in Portuguese, but it's communication. It's governmental and institutional governmental. And I think that's it. But now I'm studying to certifies and in finance two. It's that this is coming. This.
Amazing. Very nice. When I started working with IT, let's see. Actually, it was last year for me that I started working with IT. I went to college. I studied computer science so many years ago, but I never got to work with it while I was in college. I started working very early, but I always worked in different jobs. I worked in a chocolate store. I worked in a ice cream parlor. I worked with so many things, but as in IT field, I started working last year, and it was pretty nice because I was very happy that I got this job because it was the job that I always wanted, that is working with IT. So when I had the opportunity, I was very, very happy. And I began as a front-end developer, a junior front-end developer, and it was very nice. And I learned a lot with my colleagues, but I didn't stay there for too long because the company was it was not a good place to be fair. So I stayed there for a couple 8 months, but I went to other place, and it's been such a nice place and field to work. I'm very happy about it. So, Mateus, were most of your coworkers younger or older than you, and how did you feel about it? I guess you didn't had coworkers because you're autonomous, right? How was it?
Yeah, but I was
Mhm.
I was I had coworkers
Yeah.
in 2014 and
Uh-huh. Okay.
2013, and the vast majority of my coworkers were older than me. And when I worked in some companies, I always felt very good, and because I acquired a lot of experience to become an entrepreneur and seek my own clients. And I learned a lot about companies and how they work in each sector. You know, that is it.
Nice. Very nice. And you, Sonia?
I always was a youngest in school and in college too, because I started school when I was 4. Uh, I start very, very early.
Very.
I I learned to read when I was 3, and so when I was 4, I would go to school, and I started the school when I was 4. I finished my college when I was 20, and
Wow.
I do the I don't know how is especialización. I don't know. I do 2 years more for be an organizational psychologist. And when I was 22, I finished the college, and I was very young, and always I was the youngest in my class, with my colleagues at the first time too. But it was normal for me because always uh, I, I, I was the youngest, and I felt good. I didn't have problems, but I remember when I started to work in a not governmental organization, who was attending the victims of domestic violence. I remember one patient asked for another psychologist older than me.
Yeah, I guess in your field, the psychology, there is this kind of uh, people think that younger psychologists, they don't have experience enough to help them, to treat them. So it's a prejudice you psychologists face, right? I guess
Yeah.
it was for many years ago, but still these days there are this kind of thought that people think, oh, she's too young or he's too young. I am very older, so the person doesn't have the experience and the ability to help me. So this way they ignore all the path that you made, all the your studies, you went to college and did your specializations, you have all those experiences, and the person doesn't recognize because of your age, right?
Yes, because my age, because I don't have children. Uh, we have people has a lot of prejudice about,
Yeah.
especially about psychologists or psychiatrists.
Yeah.
That is normal. I am used to. I am handled with it.
Yeah, that's bad, but it's very common because I guess people try to recognize themselves in the psychologist because they want to see, oh, this person have kids, this person is married, this person has been through a divorce, so he or she
Yes.
understands what I'm going through. So the person needs this kind of validation as if it was just the person and not the professional, because it's not like that. You have to see the professional, not the personal life of the psychologist.
Exactly. But
But
it happens until now.
yeah, but very interesting. You were kind of a little genius. You learned to read that tree, right?
Yes, yes. In
Wow,
Spanish and in English too.
in two languages.
Yes, and I don't read Guarani because Guarani is a speak language, but I speak Guarani too.
Wow, that's so nice. Which city are you from?
I'm from Paraguay. Yeah. Here in
Which
Paraguay,
city?
we have Asunción, but I
Uh-huh.
was born in a small city called Uvucuí.
I don't know.
The name is in Guarani. And when I was 13, I moved on to Asunción. But I learned Guarani in Uvucuí.
Wow, that's amazing. Very, very nice. Thank you, Sonia. And you, Gabs, how was your
In,
experience?
in my experience, my coworkers are older than me. And I was remember when you talk, my first job for college, I was to, after 3 months, I don't know, the manager said me, oh, we make change in this department. And I said, yes, I'm going to change, and I'm changing. That things is not so good, and changes. It's a it's a big change. And when when the people when one woman, after that lunch, we see that, and, oh, are you crazy? That is my department. You are crazy. I'm not helping. And I'm looking for, oh my God, sorry. And and she said me,
Sorry.
I'm working here 30 years. I'm not helping for the, oh my God, I'm not 30 years now. I going to talk to her, and I say, oh, sorry, I need to apologize, but we need work together. And she said me, okay, but not in front of me. Ask me something. Oh, and I say, oh, manager said me this. Oh, manager is not the matter. That is my department. Of course. When I finished that job, she was a big friend. And I funny person. And I say, oh, are you crazy? I'm like, yeah, that I'm crazy. Don't ask me many things, or don't think many things. Okay, it's a good person, but I remember this case. She was furious when I look at, oh my God, she faked me.
But it must been very scary for her. You may think, for example, because she's
Yeah.
been there for over 30 years, and you just arrived there and you were very young, and oh my God, this kid just arrived and he's trying to change everything in my department. She must have been furious.
Yeah, in the same job, when I go to other place, I work in the people's, it's not older, it's younger than me. And I like to talk and talk. Oh, that guy, it's not, that thing is not here. Oh my, I hate that guy. I hate that. Oh, so come, take a time for you, and tomorrow we talk. And it was very difficult.
Yeah. It's very funny sometimes because we may think that age, for example, doesn't make the difference in our experience sometimes, but it really does, because not because of the professional experience, but the personal luggage that we carry as humans, as society, for example. So it doesn't matter if I'm 50 and I'm a junior developer, or you're 25 and you're a senior developer, for example. The luggage that we carry, it's very different, and we can learn a lot, not only about the technical stuff at work, but how to deal with the workplace and the difference itself.
Yeah.
So that being said, Mateus, why do you think some companies will disqualify their candidates based on their age, even though they're qualified for the job?
I think that all the people within a company become more likely to have health problems and have more difficulty maintaining the quality of work every day as someone younger, but that's just what I think happens. In reality, I'm not sure if that's why. I believe it shouldn't be that way, but it still happens a lot in companies.
Yeah. What do you think about this, Gabs?
I think it's a prejudice. It's a, I don't
It
know,
is.
and that people that guys we are contracted that prejudice about, for example, oh, I see one people more age, I think, oh, it's not so healthy, and I don't know, it's a like a prejudice because she, for example, one person have a experience, doesn't matter the age, for example, she has 30, 40, or oh, younger people is the best, they are the best in the other things and the social medias, and they have a brain, a new brain and going, but I don't know, I think it's a prejudice only.
And you, Sonia?
It's very contradictory. I agree with Greg. There's a lot of prejudice about the age. When are younger, they ask experience. And how can I do experience if
Yes.
never give me the opportunity to start working? And now I'm 53 and I have a lot of experience and I don't find job because I'm old for the market. And I am old because I have all experience and they have to pay me more, and they prefer contract a junior and pay less. But if you read the, I don't know, say avisos, when some company asks for employee, the age, the maximum age is 35. And so in my age, what I have to do, I'm 53, I feel good, I have the experience, I have the seniority, I have a lot of things to do in any company, but exists the discrimination, and it's very contradictory for me.
I agree a lot with you. I guess it's very, very contradictory because, like you said, the maximum age they tend to get new employees is 35, but at which age do we retire? For example,
Yeah.
60, 65. So what we will do next? At 36, 40, 50, 60, we still have to work. And that's very interesting what you brought, because that's it. When we are young, they ask for experience, and they tend to use this as an excuse not to give you the job because you don't have experience enough. So they don't give you the opportunity to learn. But as you grow older, they start to say that they knew younger people because they are more open to learn. For example, they are more easygoing. They say it's easier to take someone that is junior, for example, and teaches the person how to do than to take a person who already knows a lot of things, who has more experience in the market and teaches this person. So it doesn't make sense. It's a lot of prejudice. And I guess in a lot of professions, the prejudice comes in a different way. For example, as a psychologist, people don't want a psychologist that's very young, for example, because they don't have experience enough. But if you're gonna work with marketing, social media, for example, people don't want a person that is older because they are not connected to the tendencies, and digital marketing is something that you have to learn a lot of things all day long. So it doesn't make sense at all. It's awful. That's the truth.
It's true.
Yeah, the question number 4 is about what I just said. Are there any professions where the generation gap is more significant than others? What do you think, Gabs?
I'm thinking about this, but I can't say one profession. I don't know. It's when you're like very experienced, for example, for a chief, it's a profession that generation is more significant. But I don't know. Young people can cook more for that guy, the older guy. I really don't know one specifically a profession. Or I don't know. I don't know. I want a doctor.
Yeah, good example.
Yeah, but when it's specifically, I don't know. Sorry.
No, that's okay. You just gave a great example, a doctor, for example. If you take someone who just got out of college, for example, maybe 23, 24, and you take a doctor in their 50s, for example, and you put them side to side, which one do you think will be more accepted by the patients, for example?
Yeah, I think professions affect our health. For example, my mom said, "Oh, this dentist is very young. She's not so good, mom." I don't know. I going to see that job, and I like.
Yeah, my mom tends to say this kind of stuff as well. It's not nice because and she really believes what she's saying, like, oh, this person is too young, she doesn't have the experience enough to treat me, to do all this stuff, she's very young, let's see a second opinion, for example. It
Yeah,
happens.
and I say, "Oh, who is the best?" And so, "Oh, that guy. Oh, I'm going to that guy. Oh, he's not working anymore." It's a it's difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. Sonia, what do you think?
It's a question for.
Yeah, question 4.
I think the professions related to technology, especially, is more significant for the gap generation. But it's not necessarily true, because people of the different age can be technological prepared. It's a prejudice too. I think all of about technology is for the younger people. It's not necessarily true, because we can learn in any age. If you can learn, if you want to learn, you can.
Yeah, exactly. And at any age, we learn a lot of new things every day, even though they're very little. And people try relate this kind of learning new things specifically to work, but that's not it. We don't only learn things to work, like technical stuff. You can learn to do anything new, like I don't know. You can learn to cook in a different age. You can learn to ride a motorcycle, for example. You can learn a new language, for example. It's a great example at any age. So it doesn't have to be with the age. It has to be with the consistency and the effort that you put in it. So if you're really willing to learn something new, you're gonna learn it. But people have different process of learning. Some people learn better while they're listening. Some people learn better while they're writing. Some people learn reading. There are different approaches. So we have to acknowledge that and respect the different processes and don't compare the people in general based on their age. So it's very hard, but that's right, a lot of prejudice. And I guess many companies, they're not willing to put that effort to see things happening because they may think they're losing money, losing time and stuff like that. Mateus, what's your opinion?
That's a good question, but I believe that gap, this gap doesn't exist, at least in my view, because people can always learn any type of profession, and in independent of the generation they are. So we can do it all the things, we can learn all the professions. We just want to do it, you know.
Yeah,
That is it.
yeah, I agree. So
we can learn technical skills in any age.
Exactly.
yeah, any age.
Exactly.
Especially in technology, it's very hard, this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
the atherism, because a lot of people, they're independently of their age, they're having career transitioning. So many people ask if they're too old to make a career transition, even though they're 30, they're 35, they're 40. And that's an absurd because they're not old. You're not old to learn something new. You're not old to go after what you want. There are a lot of barriers in the market, in the companies, that makes this process more difficult, and it should be easier, because if the person is willing to change the career path, that's a big decision. So the company should make this easier, because it's such a big decision. We have a lot of responsibilities, we have bills to pay. So it's hard to make this process, because most of the times when you make a transition in your career, you're earning a certain salary, and the salary goes down because you have to learn everything new. You're a junior again, so you have to adapt, you have to learn your technical skills. We have a lot of barriers. So let's see, one more question. Number 8, Gabs. Do you think that different generations approach and perceive work in distinct ways?
Oh, one more difficult question, but I think yes. I think, but I I can't explain. But when I'm looking to question 5, for example, it's very beneficial that people talking about, and I I perceive is the word. I perceive one thing de jeito, and that people, I don't. So can I explain to you? I'm
Take
thinking,
your
but
time, relax. I know the question is kind of tough, but
yeah,
that's it. It's to make you think. Maybe it's hard
yeah.
to answer even in Portuguese.
Other people, for example, have experience of their life, their years. Oh, and that that different. I think it is. Oh, I'm working for example, 30 years, and I see anything. You see one thing, and
Yes.
you are going, and my perceive is it's not the same. I didn't see what that many things that other people say. Okay,
Yeah, that's
I don't
it.
know.
Just to explain to you guys, I brought this question because I've seen on the internet some people saying, so younger people saying that they quit their job, for example, because the work time didn't fit in their routine. For example, it was they're not willing to work from 8 to 6 because it was very tiring, because the wage was very low, because they had to go to the gym and this kind of stuff. So that's the perception that some people have, because older people, for example, may recognize more the difficulties, and they may be willing to face the difficulties more than the younger, for example. Maybe some young people, they give up very much easier than the other ones. What do you think about this, Sonia?
I think it's important have a different point of view. Always can all of the people, younger and older, can contribute, for example, to a company, and we can learn from each other. I can learn for other person younger than me, and other person younger than me can learn of me, because you can buy experience. Only the time give you the experience, and this is important to evaluate, uh, because you can study, you can read, you can make a lot of things, but only the time I give you the experience. And I am open to learn for the other people younger than me. I don't have prejudice. I know, for example, about technology. Young people knows better because, for example, you vote with technology. I'm not. When I had internet, when I had I don't know, 26, uh, I guess. When you were born, you have internet. Internet, cell phone is normal for you. And it was normal for me when I was 20, for example. And I think we can learn from each other. And that's important.
That's a
Amazing.
great point. When younger
Yeah.
people born, cell phone was there. Oh, take
Mhm.
this one for the kid, and that's enough. When I born, for example, I see on my phone I have 10 years, and I notebook for 12, but
Yes,
it's yeah, it's a big difference. When I born and I at that kids at the fingers of the games is for me, oh my god, I can't do this that guy has 4 years or 5 years plays.
Yeah.
And
in my case, for example, I was born in a small town here in Paraguay, and when I had TV in my house when I was 2 years, and anybody else had TV in my town. We had my family had because my father sells I don't know who's electrodomestic TV and microwave don't exist. I don't know electrodomésticos. Furniture, maybe. But I had TV when I was 2 years.
one interesting thing, but too, it's the younger people, they don't have notebooks, for example. When I see that I have cousins, for example, and then I say, oh, you need to work in this computer. How can I open this? How can I try my fingers in that? But now we don't have schools for this. How can that people
Yeah.
learn open this notebook and if in softwares? I think it's a problem
Yeah.
because everything is a cell phone.
Yeah, that's very an important point because a few years ago, we first had in my house, for example, we're 5 people and my family, and we had one big computer, one desktop with those tube monitors, and we had to schedule the time that we all had to use the computer. So it was one computer and it was very slow and this kind of stuff for everyone. And then everybody has our own notebooks, but the younger person, for example, they don't feel the need to have a notebook, for example, because a cell phone these days is it's a little computer. You can do anything in your cell phone. You don't have to own a computer itself, for example. As Mateus work with social media, do you really need a computer, for example, to work, or you can do everything in the cell phone?
Computer. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go to the jobs, for example, we need Excel, but Excel is it's not a cell phone thing.
Yeah.
It's difficult. We're not learning when you are younger, and when you are working, we need this. It's a strange problem.
Yeah, I guess depends a lot on the profession as well for the people, even though of the age, but depends a lot on the profession of the person, for example, that interferes if the person knows how to use a computer, for example. One example, I work with IT, obviously, I have to learn to use a computer, but if someone works with sales in a store that sells, I don't know, furniture, the person may not know how to use a computer because it's not necessary, for example. So depends a lot.
I'm a defender of computer. I like to. I like.
Yeah, me too. So, guys, we have 4 minutes left. So I want to hear from you, Matheus. How was your first experience at TNT? Did you like the topic? Did you enjoy? Did you think it was a little boring? You can say the truth.
I like it so much because I really need to practice my English, and that is a perfect way to improve my English. And I love how to in TNT we do it. We
Yes.
can talking about everything, about everything. And I'm feeling well that here. And I loved this. I need to continue with the TNT a lot of years because I loved that.
Yeah, that's very nice. As Sonia said, welcome aboard.
Yes,
Thank
welcome
So,
aboard.
you.
guys, I just sent you the survey to rate this immersion. Please rate, it's very important. And Matheus, as you've seen, we bring a topic here, and many times we end up speaking about something very differently from the main topic because, but I think that's the fun part because we know how to deal and to change the topic and to communicate. So
Yeah,
even though we don't get all the words, we forget. I forget a lot of words. I don't know the
yeah,
expression, but we understand each other, and that's the point. To feel
yeah,
comfortable making mistakes, to feel comfortable listening the other, to feel comfortable commenting something that Gab said, for example. That's very nice.
The same times I forget the words in Portuguese. I
Yeah.
think, oh my God,
yeah.
I'm not healthy anymore. My brain is down.
Yeah.
It's normal.
For the next week, sorry, can we take the questions in planner site?
Sure. I will make the questions this after this night. So I'll put into the planner and you'll see the questions. We had a problem in the planner, to tell you the truth. I put the questions.
Yeah.
I did put the questions, but we had a technical problem and it went out. When I got to the immersion, there were no questions. I was very lucky because I saved the questions previously and I brought it to you, but I'll make sure they are in the planner.
Yes, okay, because sometimes I like to watch the question before the immersion.
Sure. And you can give suggestions for the next week topic or the next week's survey, okay?
Okay.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great end of the night and end of the